All right. Week 7. Thanks for being here. Obviously, this week, little Ted Lasso action happening. We have these believe signs everywhere in our house: the front door, the kids' bedrooms, the kitchen cabinets, the windows. They were everywhere. We love Ted Lasso in this house. I actually have a couple of t-shirts, Ted Lasso t-shirts. So really exciting week to have Ted Lasso happening. This week was a much more balanced week. The week prior, I worked over 70 hours. This week, I worked 24 hours. And part of that was I wanted to take a little extra time last week with the kids at home for school. We also went and saw a couple of movies this week. So we saw Spider-Man and we also saw The Odyssey. It was neat to just kind of balance out some time. And, at one point my husband shared with me, like, you look a little bit lost. And I said, I feel a little bit lost when I've been working so hard and then I go to turn around and take some time off. It's like a recalibration and I almost don't even know how to find my footing. It's a little bit strange, but snap back to it. Enjoyed a lovely day off. I actually took that day off on Monday, because he was also off work. And so we just spent the day together and with the kids. It was really lovely. So what the data says for the week is I worked about 24 hours. I made 7 proactive calls. I also had a couple of networking events and meetings during the week, which were great. I closed $37,000 in revenue. That's both talks and coaching revenue, which is wonderful. And I hit my rock early. So my revenue goal and one of my rocks I finished this past week, which is really great, about a month and a half early. And that's just because I didn't actually know how to predict that. So what I would teach my clients is whether we want to be able to predict well. So it's great when revenue is higher than what we expected. Of course, it stinks when it's lower than what we expected, but we want to be good predictors. Well, I can't predict that well at the moment because I'm at the beginning of this and I don't know what the data is. So I guess I was conservative in my goals, and my goal was to close 50 grand for the quarter, and I've achieved that, which is wonderful. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm on my way to, I just booked another talk this past week. So excited and grateful for that as well. So everything is heading in the right direction. And the message to me is 2 parts. One, I felt like I didn't do jack for the week. I was really kind of frustrated and feeling kind of down. And then I went through the data, and I know I say this every week, but the data actually tells a different story. The way that I feel and what the data says are 2 different things. And so it's so important to track the data because it will tell you what's actually happening and it gives you insights. And one of the insights that I got this week is that there are some things that I want to do, but I do not do with consistency because they're not anchored to something else. That's what the data told me. So all the things that I have scheduled events for, that are on the calendar, that are structured and set in time, I do those things. And also when there's another human on the other side of that thing as well, that's like holding me accountable or is planning on me showing up, right? If it's something that I'm scheduling for myself or I didn't have anchored to something else that I'm doing, I'm far less likely to do it. So for example, my daily prayer, my daily affirmations that I read out loud, there's a couple just different things that I do that really aren't, they're sort of floating and I need to like anchor them into something. So the data tells you stories like that. It tells you how many calls you need to make before you get a certain amount of revenue booked. It tells you that you were actually productive, even though you feel like you didn't get much done this week. Or maybe the data confirms that you're not doing enough. Awesome. Track it and learn from it so that you can continuously improve, right? The data is what we use to make even better decisions with. And I update my scorecard every 90 days. Actually, right now, I just updated it every 30 days. I got to take that back. It used to be every 90 days, but I've been doing it every 30 days. Being at the beginning of this business, I'm still trying to figure out what matters. What do I need to track that actually matters and is interesting and moves the needle? So I've been updating it every 30 days. I do my wheel of life that I talked about way back in my first video. I just updated that. And then I reset my 30-day targets to be on track for my 90-day goals. So That's the business check-in. The business feels, how am I feeling right now about the business? I feel really good. I feel like I'm off to a really great start. Considering I launched June 22nd and where I am today as, at the beginning of August, I have booked the number of talks that I'm on track. I'm on track to hit all of my goals for the quarter. And I also need more time to focus working on the business, or really in it. I have not been able to dedicate the amount of time that I want to in the different seats that I need to be sitting in. So that's my goal, and my focus this week is actually doing great on sales, make my calls, but spend the time in the business getting things into shape. So the feeling that I have is good. I feel good. I feel grateful. I feel like everything's on track. And grateful is the only way that I can describe how I feel right now. My personal check-in, my personal life, really feeling very present and connected with my family, my kids. Getting them ready for school is my top priority, and that's been like in the green every single week. So that's great. It is an emotional time for me, sending my daughter off to college, sending my youngest son into high school. I wish that we had some sort of tool that measured our battery, that said oh, your GPS, it would say oh, this is using 60% of your battery and this is using X amount of your battery. Getting the kids ready to go, my daughter off to college and my son off to high school, it's I think uses more of my battery than I give it credit for. And so I'm just trying to have exercise some good self-care in and around these days of getting them launched into this new school year and this new adventure. I didn't go to college. I don't know what to expect. I'm certain my daughter's going to have a great time. And also I worry she's going to be, she's not in town. So there's so many things, just so many emotions. And if I talk about it too long, I'll start crying. So I'm not going to keep talking about it. But it's been more challenging emotionally than what maybe as challenging as I expected. It's crazy though. It's paired with this excitement and this joy that she's launching into the world, and that my son is launching into his high school years. It's funny how both things can be, they always say you can't be sad and grateful at the same time. Yeah, I can. And I'm doing it right now. Both things are true right now. So it's okay. So the feelings that I'm having are gratitude, a little bit of sadness, and, just kind of ready to feel what this new rhythm of life is going to feel like with the kids off to school. So that's week 7. It's been great. The business continues to grow and build, and I feel like I am on my way to being the best motivational speaker in the world. I signed up for Toastmasters. I am attending weekly training for speaking. I'm booking speaking gigs, everything I'm reading books. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm pouring all of my energy. I'm coaching other people, which actually helps me get better on speaking. And so I'm doing everything that I could possibly do to be the best motivational speaker in the world, and doing it with consistency, which makes me feel great. So that's week 7. Thanks for joining me. Please feel free to like and subscribe, share with other people what's happening. I've got some exciting announcements coming up, starting a TikTok channel, starting a couple other social media areas where I can share maybe a little bit more about what's happening during the week as it's happening. So as I get that up and running, I will certainly let you know. Have a great week ahead.